Hello, Rob. So we're back with more books. New book arrivals. These are mostly, I think, all but one book. This one from the Salvation Army, different thrift stores. Five Little Peppers and How They Grew by Margaret Sidney. This is one of those Whitman classics, illustrated. $5 and How They Grew, Margaret Sidney. Racine, Wisconsin. MCMLV, I'll say 1960. Don't know. A little peeling to the cover. The Story of Geology, a book I never would have purchased if it didn't have this little bookseller label. McClelland and Company, booksellers, Columbus, O. Pretty cool book, 1927, I believe. Yes, Cosmopolitan Book Corporation. Paul Gallico, Coronation, a novel by the author of Mrs. Aris Goes to Paris and Scruffy. Elizabeth Kirkpatrick. They were on their way, Will Clegg, his wife Violet, children Gwendolyn and Johnny, and Granny to the coronation. Surely the excitement of seeing the Queen in the royal procession was more than compensation for sacrificing their 2-week vacation at the seashore. For indeed, this day was going to cost Will 2 months' wages, impressively equipped with engraved 25-guinea tickets purchased for 10 guineas by their cousin Bet. They breathlessly headed for their locations. Sounds awful. Obviously, young adult or something. 1962. Pretty sure I have a book by this guy, The Magic Man, or something like that. I mean, now I have 3 copies of his books because I have Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, which I'm probably going to sell both of these. I mainly bought them. Well, I guess I did look them up and see that they have some value. But I mainly got them for the Mylar jackets that are on these. So I can swap them to a book I like better. See, they got some mottled page edges. What now, bruv? End Time Visions, The Doomsday Obsession. A highly regarded authority of cults examines the astonishing predictions of the world's end. Or if they have the climate change cult. I mean, just saying. The COVID cult. They always blame it on religious people. Not that I'm religious, but on. Anyway, I always pick up reasonably looking doomsday books. Speaking of doomsday, Web of Death, Websday. Yeah, Websday, buddy. The Web of Death, the shocking truth about our money system and how we can break free. 4th edition, revised and expanded February. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, G. Edward Griffin basically pointed this out years ago. Look at her. Hi, Ellen. It's frankly difficult to find a book of blah, blah, blah. I wonder if she mentions G. Edward Griffin in there. If she doesn't, she's a liar. Ed Griffin, she calls him. I guess his name is Edward. 142. Let's see. Creature from Ed Griffin writes in The Creature from Jekyll Island. Maybe that's what he goes by in private life, Ed Griffin. Charles Berlitz, The Lost Ship of Noah. In search of the Ark at Ararat. Isn't that what about the Lost Ark of the Covenant? Is that what this is? Is this just Noah's Ark? What's our Victor comments? What about the Ark of the Covenant? I don't think they're anything to do with each other. Maybe they are. I have his book on Bermuda Triangle, so, and another book or two, so I probably should have these. This, not these. It's only one book, Baba. One book. Witch Stories, illustrated by Jane Launchbury. This book belongs to Kay Wilkie. Not anymore. Witch Stories, illustrated by Jane Launchbury. Derrydale Books, New York, 1991 edition. Edward and Anna, The Magic Island. Witch Wurzel. I mean, I don't like this pop art kind of drawings, but some people, I guess, do. Wonder if these are all original little stories. I don't know who the hell Jane Launchbury is, so I assume they are new little stories. Mackinac, an island famous in these regions. Mackinac Island, history from furs to fudge. Nice fucking hat. Hey, this guy's on that one book from Taps to Reveille, I believe. One of these guys. I have him on a book about Mackinac Indians. Thanks for writing in there, you piece of fucking garbage. To my mom, dad, brother, sisters, brother-in-law. What? Sisters-in-law, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews. Enjoy. I guess he bought it for the whole family. Nice guy he was. Even grandma that did it too, so who knows. Christopher Pike. Might as well bring them both out. Obviously, these books are in great shape, so that's why I purchased them both. Usually you find these in their ragged-ass covers and broken spines, but these have intact spines, and they're in really good shape. I probably have a few more of these lying around. Usually when you get about 5 to 10 of them, you can sell them for a decent profit. Remember me and die softly. Ditto with these. Confessions of a Teenage Frog and Our Friend, Public Nuisance #1. From Samantha Slade, #2 and 3. It's got a bat, so I assume it's kind of like a... What's that? Goosebumps sort of kind of deal. Metro News Center. What the hell is that even about? Anything goes at Drake and Loopy Browns. That's why Samantha Slade is the best paid babysitter in town. But bats in the belfry and nudes in the stew are the least of her problems, since the kids have acquired Bubbles, a pet monster that looks like a dinosaur and honks like a goose. I will sell these as well, since they're in really good shape. I looked in vain for more of these, but could not find them. Clive Barker in the flesh. This cover reminds me a lot of the Terry Pratchett books, of which I have a small collection with no interest in reading them. Ditto with this. This is for monetary value. It's not in great shape, but probably flip it for a 10 spotter. Possibly, maybe. Spirits Rebellious, Khalil Gibran. I really don't know anything about this guy, Khalil Gibran, even though you see the book. The Prophet, basically, at every thrift store in America. Bought this because it was old, Philosophical Library edition, 1947. Is that really 80 years ago now? Basically. Cray cray. And it has the jacket. I like these little Peter Paulus, whatever the hell they're called, esque covers. But this is the Philosophical Library, which I think was kind of like a Peter Paulus, Peter Pauper, whatever it's called. The Complete Guide to Great Southern Words and Wisdom, plus folk narratives and superstitions by Amy Gary. Happy as a pig in slop. Well, where was the one thing I saw? Oh, when the dogwood is white, the fish begin to bite. Child went to dogwood school. Never plant fruit in the dark of the moon. Gumption, courage, initiative, or good common sense. Gunja, gingerbread or a ginger cake, gussied up, good to ride the river with. Crack one's teeth to talk, crabapple switch, large knife with blades that fold in and out. Pleasure boating, Great Lakes State, a course in boating safety prepared by the state of Michigan. Course presented by Ralph Allison and Deputy Death. This looks rather vintage, probably 50s or 60s, my guess, but could be wrong. Leon Bunch. Welcome aboard. State of Michigan, the advice of the governor's water safety. Boating on Michigan waters. Appendix. What year does it say? 1967, I believe. September of 67. Just a little piece of ephemera for the lot. This book I probably wouldn't have got except it was selling for about $8 or $9 on the eBay, so I figure if I can find a couple others. This is The Evil Thing by Serena Valentino, which is a Scholastic book. I mean, I don't know who wrote these. Decided on this black cover with the, whatever, it looks like red writing, but very difficult to read without light on it. Very well, Lady DeVille, if that's what you'd prefer your husband, Lord DeVille. Bullshit. William Shakespeare Tragedies, Volume 1, Everyman's Library. Or is it Everyman's? Everyman's Library. Othello. Probably should read Othello. But then again, Ellie McCullough, this young lass, was reading that in her last year of her life, and she was not impressed by it. But yeah, just another book for the Shakespeare collection. And lastly, Map Making with Children. Sense of Place Education for the Elementary Years. I believe I have a book by Sobel on map making. There was one part in this book, one chapter, where he starts talking about Hillary Clinton. I'm just like, this guy, you can see why he got a fucking... He's probably an academic, because who else would be fucking enamored by Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton's recent book has popularized a saying that my colleagues and I have long been using to describe the relationship between the school and the community. It takes a village to raise a child. It's not just the school's job to educate children, it's the responsibility. Fuck yo. I got the book anyway. Just because I think it's interesting that kids actually create maps. I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe that's my destiny, to create a map. Look at this. That's pretty cool, honestly. It's pretty freaking cool, buddy. But yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 books, maybe 5 or 6 now, on maps. Yeah, that's all. Goodbye, bruv. Good boy.